happy to greet everybody here today. My name is Maria Ananya. I'm an ESL instructor in the University of Pennsylvania, and today I would like to talk to you about using Chants to teach pronunciation. I teach two classes which involve pronunciation practice, and I'd like to show you today the method that I use, which is called jazz chanting. And I'd like to show you how I use it, how do I benefit from it together with my students, how to basically teach it, and what the outcomes of it might be. And I'm going to illustrate the methodology for you so you can get the basic idea of what it is like in a classroom. So that's what I would like to start with. Let's look at jazz chants in action.
If your friend is going to fall on the ice, you don't go, watch out, there's some ice. Go, watch out! Okay, once more. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Okay, so you probably got the basic idea what's going on in this class. And now I would like to continue talking about jazz chants by presenting to you the traditional methodology of teaching pronunciation in a class. And typically, like, my teacher of phonetics would go with us through a textbook, give us a bunch of theory, and we did have some practice. So what I came up with is a very good web page which actually gives you the theory in a very interactive and visual way. So here you can see the classification of sounds into consonants and vowels. All the consonants here are classified. Okay, so you can actually explain the classification to your students there. So we can pick the voice and we can pick the sound. And here you can see the nice illustration of the sound system, and you can play it and explain your students step by step here if you want, or just briefly how your mouth moves and everything in it move when you pronounce the sound. Then you can do this and hear it pronounced in a context, in a word.
Radar. Breed.
If you want to explain anatomy and how the sound system is built, there's a wonderful resource, very interactive, where your students can actually click and look at illustration and see where everything is. The back tongue, the tongue blade, mandible, nasal cavity, everything is right here. Very good, very visual. I would say traditional approach, but non-traditional execution. So what is a jazz chant and why is it a good way to teach pronunciation? Basically, jazz chants are a complex method to teach all aspects of pronunciation in conversational context. It is an interactive and fun way to learn to communicate using proper intonation, strands, and sounds articulation. So where do jazz chants come from? We can look it up at answers.com. And here's what we get. In 1950s, 1960s, jazz rock fusion formed from the 1970s and later developments of jazz, such as jazz acid and chant. So chant originates from Old French chanter, which is a rhythmic speaking or singing of words or sounds, often primarily on one or two pitches called reciting tones. So here are just a few benefits of using jazz chants in the classroom. And I'm going to go through them very briefly. Usually all jazz chants imply highly conversational situations in which people naturally say very emotional things which require good intonation and stress and knowledge of sounds, of course. So you practice a lot of sounds in the jazz chant, which is, as in the YouTube example, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. There is a hole in the floor. Just in this one sentence, there are a bunch of sounds that have to be learned. Intonation and stress, very important. You practice both in a jazz chant. Grammar, there is a hole in the floor, there are. You practice grammar constructions. Vocabulary, you use new words, you learn new words, very conversational words such as watch out, okay? That's a good one to learn. Then jazz chants always imply group work. It is a fun, interactive team building experience which can only be done in a group. Absolutely invaluable group work experience. Jazz chants, as you could see by the way the teacher was behaving, they do allow to act and improvise. You can basically get in front of the class and just act them out, which is a very fun way to do that. They allow for dynamic interaction, which is very important in an ASL classroom because you deal with a lot of issues in an English as a second language classroom, including the shyness of people. People are shy, people are self-conscious, and getting them into this conversational context and situations, doing this simulation exercise with them helps them to open up, and it is very, very useful and valuable for you as a teacher. Okay, so what are the 4 steps in doing a jazz chant? Let's have a look at them. Step number 1, you explain the context and vocabulary to the students. Yes, you absolutely have to do it before you even go through the jazz chant with them. When you're done with the context and vocabulary, next thing you do is you read through the chant with the students. And you can just read through it as if you're reading through the text without even intonation, just for the sake of comprehension of the content. The 3rd step is you divide class into halves, into 2 parts. You establish the rhythm. I advise that you doing it first so it's clear, and you work through the jazz chant with the group. And here there are a variety of ways to do it. You can do it, you can play the part of the main character and the students can support you, or you can go line after line, sentence after sentence, you say they repeat. There are all kinds of ways, whichever is beneficial for your particular class. In step number 4, you assign a leader who leads the jazz chant with the group. Here the leader basically will play the role of the teacher. He will do the main character part, and he can just get out in front of the classroom and act it out. And the group is doing the secondary part, supporting him. And finally, how to make everything that I explained to you work. I use jazz chants in my classroom as background for learning actual sounds and intonation patterns. So I would do jazz chants with the group, and I would have this web page on the screen so that I can always refer to it in case I need it. If we have a trouble with a certain sound, like let's say we're doing the jazz chant, there are a lot of p sounds in it. So we're going here, I'm explaining to them the consonant p, which is a stop by manner, and I'm explaining them the articulation. We're looking at how it's pronounced in words, and then we come back to the context in a particular jazz chant. And based on the students' feedback, all of a sudden everything starts making sense. All that theory of monophthongs, diphthongs, consonant vowels, word stress and sentence stress, they understand why they need it finally, because they get to actually use all of this knowledge. And not the knowledge goes first, theory goes first, and practice goes next. No, here practice goes first, and they learn by mistakes, and here theory comes in handy and they use it. Plus, jazz chanting is just so much fun, and students love fun classrooms. They're gonna come to your classroom because they learn a lot, and it is just a wonderful experience for them.